What's up, guys? It is not a Victory Monday, nor is it a sad Monday. It's a satisfying Monday, even though there's no moral victories in sports and all that stuff. But for fans and for me, that was one of the more satisfying losses I've seen in a while, just given how the game went. Because honestly, I was a Debbie Downer when it took the Chiefs 3 seconds to go down the field in the first drive. And I thought it was going to be a long day at the office. And then we kind of got our bearings and flipped the switch. Yeah, I'm a little disappointed that Patrick Mahomes' legs played as big of a factor as they did, and we couldn't keep him in the pocket. But getting Patrick Mahomes kind of seems like a rite of passage in the NFL, just because that's what he does. But the path for athletes in sports is not always linear and is not always straight. But for Bryce Young, that was epic to watch. The poise, the stepping through the pocket, the being able to throw on the move, so many clutch throws, the 4th and 1 deep over route that he threw to Adam Thielen on the last drive. Yeah, you got some drops in there. The one to Tommy Tremble after the unfortunate Ja'Tavion Sanders injury, which turned out better than anyone expected. He's back at the Panthers facility, but drops are gonna happen. It's part of the thing. And Xavier Legette, obviously, he had a big one, but that's gonna happen for a rookie. But Bryce Young doing what he did against the Chiefs defense, obviously, you can't win against the Chiefs with field goals and the little things in the red zone, the false start on the 3rd and 3 to make it 3rd and 8 on the second red zone drive. Obviously, those little things you can't have happen against the Chiefs team, Andy Reid team, any of that. And I usually don't like to state the obvious, but and the 3rd and 13 scramble right before halftime to set up the Chiefs touchdown. I think it was a very flag fest type of game, but both teams were able to play through it pretty nicely, and I appreciated that aspect as well. And finally, getting some pass rush. I don't remember a 5-sack game from our pass rush in the last 5 years. Maybe DJ Wadham was the secret sauce that we were missing. Obviously, there's a lot of injuries on our defense as well. And frankly, we probably don't have an elite playmakers, but we've made it work and we've hung in there very, very nicely, and that's something that you can definitely appreciate. And we're just the 3rd team since 2013, I believe, that has scored on 75% of drives against the Andy Reid-led team. So that's definitely something to hang the hat on. And even I wanted to point out the 2-point conversion where Bryce Young was able to draw the pass interference. That was elite too, to even give the refs a chance to make that call and for our guys to make a play on the ball. That was fantastic as well. I think the one sack that he took, he had time maybe to throw it away, but it also might have been a covered sack too on that one. But decisive. He was able to use his legs a lot. You saw just so many great throws in different situations, because Spagnuolo has the kitchen sink and more. So the growth and the poise and the mindset of Bryce Young is something I'm really excited about. Obviously, the 3 holding penalties on J.C. Horn, like I said, it was a flag fest both sides. You could have probably let some of the calls go, but once it was set like that, it was going to happen like that. Chuba Hubbard was awesome. I thought we could have gotten to our run game a little more in the first half, but also with the Chiefs' run defense the way it is, ranked 3rd against the run, it was kind of Bryce, I dare you, and Bryce brought us back. And that's pretty much all you can ask for. And you never know what moment is the aha moment for Bryce Young to get another opportunity. And unfortunately, it was misfortune for Andy Dalton with a broken thumb in the car accident. But sometimes you get tapped on the shoulder and say, kid, this is your time again. And I think as fans, sometimes a lot of the time, it's what have you done for me lately? And if it's not good, then that means you're automatically a bust. And sometimes you got to remember that these guys are human, and sometimes it's not going to happen right away or happen overnight. Obviously, C.J. Stroud and Bryce Young are always going to be compared, but C.J. Stroud is having a sophomore slump of sorts, and yes, he has injuries to deal with, and the offensive line is poor, but last year C.J. Stroud was the king of the world, so sometimes you just gotta wait and see, and that worked for Patrick Mahomes under Alex Smith, and it seems to be really working for Dave Canales and Bryce Young. Sometimes you just gotta let the process be the process, even if it's unorthodox, because Bryce Young going toe-to-toe with Patrick Mahomes and one of the best defenses in the NFL, and most of the wins for the Chiefs have been because of that defense, gives you so much hope for the future and what everything could mean. And obviously the offensive line deserves a lot of flowers. Ike Ekwonu still annoys me at times with the penalties and, that type of thing, but it is what it is. But David Moore balled out yesterday. I like that Tompkins was involved a little bit, the speedster. I really wish Coker was back, because I think that could have added a different element. Xavier Legette still progressing and still was big in a lot of spots. I know he had a couple of drops, but drops are going to happen. It's just part of the NFL. You don't want them, but it is what it is. But I think the offensive game plan, the offensive scheme was awesome. You just got to finish better in the red zone. And that's obviously stating the obvious again. I apologize. But just points, and we were able to do that. Just a couple of defensive drives that you wish you had back, but the defense did a nice job bowing their neck. A lot of times in the second half as well, that J.C. Horn sack was a nice wrinkle by Evero. And there's a lot of growth in the defense. And we're seeing A'Shawn Robinson, DJ Waddle, those guys, Javon Clowney, spark a little more. It would have been really nice to be able to see a guy like Shaq Thompson and Derek Brown as we continued to build. And maybe we're definitely going to see Derek Brown again, so that is good. But I could not be happier with the growth and just the progression of this season, going from unwatchable at times to excited to see what's next. Obviously, Tampa is a very tough team, and they got really healthy with Mike Evans being back and Bucky Irving becoming a thing. So it'll be a different type of test, but the offensive line's been amazing, and Bryce Young is answering the bell recently, and that's what you gotta love. And we're finding different guys in the wide receiver room as well. Adam Thielen being back is a really nice veteran ad, and everyth's looking up. There's finally seriously light at the end of that tunnel, and I can't wait to see what Dan Morgan and company do in the draft and beyond, because there is something real here. Finally, it really feels it. As always, keep pounding. Go Panthers. Hit that like button. Hit that subscribe button. Helps out a lot. Thanks, guys.